Welcome to the Momship Mastery podcast, the ultimate destination for moms seeking balance, connection, and growth in their journey through motherhood. I'm your host, master's level therapist and life coach, Andrea Baker. Here at the Momship Mastery, we believe that motherhood is a purposeful journey filled with discoveries, challenges, and countless opportunities, from self-care strategies to relationship building, from spiritual growth to parenting insights. I've got you covered. So, if you're ready to embark on this journey with us, hit that subscribe button and let's explore the world of motherhood, relationships, and growth together. Remember, you're not alone on this journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. All right, guys. Hey, I am back, and this week we are continuing our conversation on gentle parenting or gentle parenting adjacent, whatever you'd like to call it. I don't really know. But yeah, so this week we're going to focus more on some actionable items on what to do when we feel triggered, what to do when it comes to the discipline and consequences, tangible tips on implementing discipline and consequences in gentle parenting, and then just really how do we self-regulate when it hits the fan, and then how to really assess if there's more that's needed in our support system. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's get into it. So like we talked about last week, we talked about all the reasons why gentle parenting was helpful, what it was not, right? We talked about those things. But I know a lot of you are asking, like, well, what does that discipline actually look like? And how do we navigate the consequences and what happens, right? How do we do it? So again, I want to start off by really framing how discipline is seen through the eyes and the lens of gentle parenting. So discipline and consequences are really seen as teachable moments, right? We want to use every moment as a lesson. It's a teachable moment. We want to be teaching them a new skill or a new way to respond. So gentle parenting, it views discipline as an opportunity to teach opposed to a reason to punish. So instead of focusing on the punishing measures, parents more so aim to understand the reason behind their child's behavior and address them through empathy and guidance, right? So we're responding instead of reacting. So we're responding and understanding what happened. It's like, the bottom of the hierarchy is, are they tired? Are they hungry? All of those things, like, are they overstimulated? Those are some of the main things that we have to ask continually. Even for me, am I tired? Am I hungry, or am I overstimulated? So those are some of the questions that I always ask, because any of those things, or a multiple of those things, right, can cause certain reactions that we don't feel like we're able to control, or it feels like we've overwhelmed ourselves. So we look for these teachable moments by looking to understand the triggers. Are the basic needs met right now? Which includes, are they sleeping? Are they hungry? Are they upset about something? If those things are met, then okay, let's move on to the emotional sides of it. Did something happen? Are they triggered by losing something? Are they triggered by an altercation that happened, right? We want to know what types of things are underlying these behaviors, because behaviors are always communicating something to us. So if we can get to understanding what is happening within our child, then we're better able to respond to that thing. For instance, there was a thing I remember with my daughter. She went to play, she came home, they always had their afternoon snack, and I always tell them, you can choose candy, that's your choice. But if you choose candy, then you don't get another snack if you're still hungry after snack time. This particular day, she mentioned that she skipped lunch because some other kids were skipping lunch. So she made a choice not to eat lunch, and she still chose candy as her snack. But she came in and she was asking for more food because she was hungry. And my initial response was, you chose candy, you don't get extra. I noticed that she began to get very emotional, and I was like, okay, she's about to have a breakdown. And I pretty much stood on the fact of, well, you chose candy, so this is the choice that you're making. And then I remembered, I said, oh, she didn't have lunch. So she's really hungry. She's not just pushing the limits right now. She's hungry. So I said, okay, well, you're hungry. This is your choice. We went to the refrigerator, got leftovers from dinner last night. I said, this is what you can eat. And she ate it and she was fine. But had I responded continually like, no, this is what you chose, or whatever, it's whatever, because that's what I almost did. But when I thought about it and I remembered, oh, this is actually a need that she has that has not been met, I responded in a way that didn't result in a meltdown. So when you understand certain triggers, when you check those triggers and you're like, okay, this is something that is real, because those, our kids sometimes push limits. Sometimes they're like, all right, I know I can get over it, but is this a real thing that's happening with them? And once we understand and realize, okay, this is, then okay, how should we respond to that? And then just the positive reinforcement. So we want to note and verbalize the good that they're doing. How is this discipline? Because kids, they want our attention. They want the praise. They want the reinforcement. They want the reassurance, right? That's a need that we have as adults. But our children are very into like that positive reinforcement. If you say, I love how great of a job you're doing at XYZ, right? It could be something they don't want to do, but they love the fact that you're noticing it. So they're going to do more of it, right? The more you are pointing out the good, right? Caught being good, right? A lot of times if there's a behavior that I want to see and I see one of my children doing it and the other one not, I'm not going to say you need to be like your brother and do this. I speak to him and I say, I love how you're doing this. I love how you made your bed today. It looks very nice. You did it so neat. The next thing I know, she's going to start doing it because she wants me to say, oh, that's great. I love how you are cleaning up after yourself. I love how you are putting your shoes away. I love how you're doing that. Small, right? Small things. We're just kind of trying to put more emphasis on those desired behaviors. And then, like we said, the natural and the logical consequences. And sometimes we just have to let stuff happen, right? Sometimes experience, my mama told me, experience is the best teacher, There are some things your kids are just going to have to experience, right? If I tell you, if you play your game right there and it falls, it might break, you don't want to listen, then now you've experienced the consequence of that action and your game is gone, right? So these are things that we are allowing them to experience that shapes how they respond the next time. But during these meltdowns and tantrums, how do we compose ourselves? What do we do? How do we handle these situations? And like one of the main things that I ask parents to do is to stay calm, right? Why? Because they're going off of your emotions, for one. They're going to feed off of your emotions. And when you continue to speak calmly, eventually their voice will calm down also. But remaining calm and providing that sense of stability, right? I'm going to be this person no matter what you do, right? Continue to have your meltdown. I'm still your mom. I still love you. I still have this space for you, right? I'm going to stay calm. And sometimes that means telling yourself in your brain to stay calm. Sometimes there was a song that I would play, and while my daughter thought it was just to calm her down, but it was really to help me to stay calm too, right? I'm not saying forget about yourselves in these moments. I'm saying to notice when you feel overstimulated. If you're able to have a way to calm yourself, then do that. If there's a way for you to remove yourself from the situation where it's still safe, then do that. There are ways that we can respond to these situations, respond to these challenges without adding to this meltdown or the blow-ups. Validating their emotions is another key thing. I understand that you feel angry. I understand that you feel sad. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to be angry, right? Validating that feeling, because the feeling isn't the problem. I always want to express to my children that having this feeling is not the problem, right? It's okay. We're all going to have feelings. You feeling angry is not a problem. Your actions behind the anger could result in a consequence. That's what I want you to understand. But in this moment, in order to handle this challenging situation, I want you to understand that it's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel angry. Let's talk about that. Comforting them through that, right? Oh, you feel sad? Do you need a hug? Would you like a hug? Do you want to hold my hand? Do you want me to sit next to you? How would you like me to support you in this? I'm not oblivious to the fact that some kids don't have language to express this, but to continue to talk to them like this will get them to thinking, they're going to probably say, I don't know. Or maybe they'll say, yeah, they need a hug. Or maybe they'll say, yes, hold my hand, or something like that. But it gets them to thinking about, I feel this way. and my parent is here to support me in this way, right? Giving them those reassuring words to help them to regulate those emotions. But one of the most important parts of handling these challenging situations is the problem solving, right? After the meltdown. I don't leave once the meltdown is over. Now we have to figure out what happened. We figure out how to prevent it from happening this same way. We figure out maybe what caused it. How can we handle it a better way the next time, right? How would we like this to be different the next time? It's like, how do we want this to be the next time we feel this feeling, or the next time this happens, the next time you don't get what you want, or the next time you feel, we want to present that as a thought, right? We want that thought process to kind of happen of how can this be better next time? Does it mean that they're going to do it? No. Does it mean that they're going to say, okay, I said I wanted to, deep breathe before I have a fit next time? Does that mean that it's going to look like that? Not really. They'll remember. It'll be a constant reminder, right? So those are some of the things that I encourage parents to respond with when it comes to meltdown and tantrums. Now, disobedience is a different one. And I had to really look into the research about it because it was like, okay, I want to really use this language in a way that feels gentle parenting-ish, because I'm pretty sure they don't use the words disobedience. That's not the language they use. But again, hence gentle parent adjacent, because I don't ascribe to everything, right? Some things I just do from certain experiences. Some things it's just the way that I feel that I respond. So for disobedience, the first one is understanding the reason, right? What are they trying to communicate? What is the underlying reason for this behavior? Most of the time, I find disobedience has to do with autonomy. While meltdowns and have more so to deal with basic needs, sometimes they deal with autonomy, but I find that disobedience more so is like them going off the ledge because they're like, I want to do it myself. I want to be this myself. Like, it's more so that stance of independence. So from there on, I want to communicate expectations, set clear expectations and boundaries to the child, and really explaining like the reasons. I know that that's not something that we're used to kind of happening, but I explain a lot to my kids. We explain a lot to them of this is the expectation, this is the reason. Does it mean that they're like, oh, okay, no, but they understand now. It's like they know I'm not just saying this because of this. But a lot of times kids are testing boundaries because that's how they discover their autonomy. They want to know what they're able to do. And their brains aren't developed enough to just access, right? They have to experience it, just like we had to experience these things. And a lot of times that comes across as disobedience. Offering choices and asking questions, I think, are really key to navigating any type of disobedience or opposition when their kids are displaying great opposition or being what we consider disobedient. So giving choices, I spoke about this last week, but giving choices of you can either do this or you can do this. Which one would you choose? Right? For the younger kids, so, where you're picking out clothes and I don't want to wear this and we have to go somewhere. These are your choices. You can wear this or you can wear this. This is the choice. These are the choices you have. It's your choice. Now you choose, right? Do you want to eat this or do you want to eat that? Which one do you want to do first? Do you want to brush your teeth or do you want to take a bath first? Making sure our language is clear. Which one do you want to do, period? So which do you want to do first? Making sure they understand that language that we're speaking. So they understand like, okay, I'm not saying you don't have to do, if you do one, you don't have to do the other. I'm saying you get to choose what you do first. Also from another psychologist, or how do we combat the opposition of our children? By asking questions. They're opposing what we're telling them to do, right? By asking them a question, well, how do you think we should respond to this? Or why do you think it's okay to speak to me in that way? Why do you think it's okay for you to not brush your teeth? Why do you think it's okay for you to not do your homework? Why do you think it's okay for you to not follow directions or do whatever, right? Asking these questions, because no answer, I don't know, is not an answer. No, tell me. Why do you think it's okay? What made you believe that this was okay to do? Is there anything in life that has made you feel that this is okay? Has anyone spoken to you in the way that you're speaking to me? Is that okay for you to do? Right? continue to ask these questions, it just it jumbles their brains up and they're not really sure how to respond, but it takes away the armor. It disarms them. And again, like another one of those things is just to redirect or distract, right? If they are constantly confrontational in a space where they want to be confrontational and they're looking for a response, I sometimes ignore that and we start talking about something else, or I make a note of something else, or like we just completely go to something else. Yes, I know that I'm disregarding that completely and I'm going to keep disregarding it because I don't want to deal with it, because it's not going to give the result that I need in this situation, or I'm going to redirect your attention and guide you to something that's more appropriate or desirable. So for this last part, I wanted to talk to just the parents that are saying, like, I didn't have these experiences. I don't have the tools to really do this. I don't know how this is supposed to be done because my experience looked completely different. And these are some of the things that I think would be helpful for you. One of the first things that I encourage people to do is to reflect on your own childhood. What are the things that you really enjoyed about your childhood, right? Where were the moments that were super special to you? How did you relate to your parents? How did you relate to your siblings? How did you relate to your friends? I want you to think about those things and then figure out what would you like to be different for your own children. And I tell people that this is not something that I encourage people to do so that we can blame or paint our parents as villains. This is not what I'm suggesting at all. It's just a reflection. I had a great childhood. I love this, but I kind of missed this part where I wanted them to play with me more. You know, they worked really hard. They worked to give me this life, and I understand why they did it. But we didn't really do things together as a family, or we did a lot as a family, but we didn't have, I want you to reflect and figure out what were the things that you enjoyed about your childhood. What were the things that really helped you become who you are? And then what were the things that you wished were different? So yeah, just reflecting on your own experience and just noting like some of the things that you would like to do differently. And yeah, another thing is to educate yourself, to find resources that you find helpful to you. So if there are certain aspects of gentle parenting that stand out to you and you're like, well, I would like to incorporate that, but I want to, learn more about it, then look it up, find resources. There are courses. I know there are parenting coaches and all these types of things. Look up the things that really interest you and the ways that you would like to parent, and really just try to find the resources to help you to make that more tangible. I also want to encourage you to really practice self-compassion, right? Noticing that this is a process. This is something that you're learning as you're going. I think parenting in itself is something that we learn as we go, because our kids are different, right? We figure this out as we go, but really just incorporating self-compassion and knowing that you're not going to get it perfect. It's no such thing as perfect parenting. And there are going to be times where your kids are going to grow up and be like, well, I wish you would have done this more. And, that's totally okay. That's their experience. That's their desires. But just having that compassion for yourself and being gentle with yourself as you navigate through this transition, knowing that you're trying to do something that you don't really have the experience for, and just giving yourself the grace to go through that gracefully, to go through that, and reminding yourself that you're doing your best to create this nurturing environment for your kids. We also need to make sure we're taking smaller steps, taking small steps. So taking small steps really just mean like implementing it one step at a time, right? We're not taking the big picture of, okay, I want to be able to respond like this all the time and to always show empathy and to always give choices. Like, it's going to be overwhelming if you frame it in that way. And that also puts you at a higher risk of just not doing it at all. So I wanted to encourage people to start implementing small changes into daily interactions with your kids, right? Choosing which one thing maybe you want to do. Also, if you are in a situation where you have a co-parent or a partner or spouse, I want you to communicate with them, right? Have them to do a reflection of their childhood and how they would like to parent also, right? Figure out where you guys see eye to eye, or a similar page where you guys are together working for the best interests of your children, and then communicate the ways that you will be able to do some of the same things, or the ways that you will incorporate this environment of safety. And then seeking support. Of course, there are going to be people in your life that may not like how you choose to parent. There are going to be people who may have things to say about your choices, and that's okay, right? We have to be okay with people not liking or not accepting what we're doing when it comes to what's best for our children. But I want you to seek support of those friends who do support you, even if they don't understand you, or even if they don't parent the same way that you do. It's important to find that area of support, right? Working together to support each other, right? As long as the goal is creating safety for your child, or creating this nurturing environment where they are growing and where they are learning and, just becoming a better person, then, I feel that that's an amazing goal for you to have, whether they're parenting like you or not. And to have that support, that means the world. So, like I said, this isn't going to be a one-time thing. This isn't going to be something that we're just wake up and able to do. This is something that is going to take practice. It's going to take consistency and persistence, right? We're going to have to get through the hard times. We're going to have to self-regulate. We're going to have to do all these things on ourselves before we're able to see the results that we're wanting to see. But celebrate those small wins, right? Celebrate the growth that you see. Celebrate those moments that you notice, like, I did this differently, and my child responded differently, right? Celebrate those things because they're important and they mean so much. And lastly, seeking help if needed, seeking professional help if needed. If you find yourself struggling to break away from those experiences, or for some of your own experiences, and you find that it's really difficult for you to overcome some of those experiences or traumas, then it may be a good idea to maybe seek some professional help, or seek a therapist or a counselor to help you navigate those places so that you can achieve the healing that you would like to achieve, that is important for you to achieve in order to be your best self for your children. Seeking professional guidance can really help you to gain valuable insight and tools to help you on this journey through parenting. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Again, you guys let me know what you think. And if this is something that's relevant to you, or you felt like this was helpful, then, you let me know. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right. That's all for today, and I hope that you're feeling inspired to navigate your shifts with grace and authenticity. If you enjoyed this episode, I want you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a mom who may just need a little support and encouragement. Don't forget to connect with us on social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Momship Mastery, and those links are also in the show notes. Before we go, here's my little reminder. You are an incredible mom, and you have the power to nurture your inner well-being and create meaningful connections and relationships. Embrace the journey, cherish the moments, and continue to thrive in your momship journey. Until next time.